Welcome to this edition of Tax Matters. I'm your Fulton County Tax Commissioner, Arthur Ferdinand. On today's program, we are privileged to have as our guest Commissioner William Bill Edwards. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Doc.
This is great to have you here today.
Yeah.
Let me say, first of all, that I want to thank you for your years of service. To our listeners, this is Commissioner Edwards' last term, and he'll be venturing off to more important things, I believe. But I want to thank you for all years of service. I want to thank you for what you did for South Fulton and for Fulton County. And most of all, I want to thank you for being a friend when I needed one here in the county. I'm going to divide this show into two parts. First of all, I want to take you down memory lane to talk about the things that you have accomplished. And I want you to make comments on some of them that you think to be very significant to you, things that you're very proud of. I know you're proud of all of them because you did it. But I want you to comment on some of them.
Absolutely.
And at the end of this, I want to, in my second part, talk about the future of what you're leaving South Fulton as a commissioner and where South Fulton is headed in the future as a city. I'll begin by talking about economic development. Always key to any part of the county because that triggers growth and revenue and services. Economic development reduces the amount of taxes the private owners, homeowners have to pay. So the more economic development you have, the better it is for the taxpayers in terms of the amount of service they get and how much taxes they pay. Let's look at economic development. You created the Office of Economic Development in South Fulton. You generated over $3 million in economic development, $3 billion.
I was going to correct you.
$3 billion.
$3 billion.
We're talking real money here. We generated over $3 billion in economic development to South Fulton, including the Sandton Village Shopping Center, the shops at Hampton Oaks, Parkway Village Shopping Center, Walmart Plaza Shopping Center on Old National Highway, Walton Lakes Harbor Grove Residential Community, the shops at Camp Creek Village, Prestige Car Center, the shops at Old National. And you hosted Tomorrow's World Festival, generating over $85 million into the community, which is very recent. We have had 2 years of it.
2 years, that's
and
correct.
We have 8 more years under the contract.
That's correct.
What of these things you're proud of? What is the significance of some of these things to you?
I think
Which ones are you most proud of?
I think the one that's whole steady in my mind, Dr. Ferdinand, is the $3 billion worth of economic development. In 2000, when I came, wasn't much going on in South Fulton County, but it was a virgin area that was primed for development. I believe that when you talk about economic development, you must first create the condition.
That's correct.
And conditions has to do with public safety, education, customer service. And what I did was try to venture into telling people this is a good place to come, but business comes where it's welcome, but it stays where it's appreciated. And so based on that, people started to come, and we had $3+ billion of economic development, both on the residential side and on the commercial side. We still got a lot of more land to do. We're going with the same philosophy, and we're still going to be about the business of creating the condition for economic development.
So now, the most recent one was something with world recognition. The Tomorrow World. Kind of noisy, but it's modern.
It is. Tomorrow World, you know, some people come up to me and said, $80-something million, why aren't we buying more police cars? Well, they didn't understand that $80-something million was not coming to the county.
That's right.
That we did provide services that we got paid fees for. But the most significant part is that the business owners in all of the southern cities and Atlanta reaped the benefits from a sales perspective. For example, the Publix on Highway 92, they had to stock 4 or 5 times.
Really?
Yes. The Waffle House and other businesses, just unfortunately the liquor store, other businesses that were just overwhelmed by the people who come from all over the world to come to see Tomorrow World. So Tomorrow World is about bringing the world to Fulton County, having the benefit of the sales in the county, but also it opens the door to people come and say, well, this is for South Fulton. It's a nice place. I just might want to stay here.
That's right. Okay. Very good. Now let's move on a little bit. Seniors. We always have to appreciate seniors and what they have done to make life better for us and even bringing us into this world. Now for seniors, you enhance their quality of life by building the Hapeville Neighborhood Senior Center. You built a new Beginning Senior Center, the Adult Day Center at HJC Bowden, renovations and upgrade at Camp Truett, and you fought to keep funding in place for seniors. And I remember you always working with Commissioner Darling in particular for the funding for seniors. Which of these stick in your mind as your legacy?
Any of the ones that where I have provided a place for seniors to go. I have seen, Dr. Ferdinand, seniors come in our senior facilities on walkers, and 2-3 months later, they're line dancing. The camaraderie among seniors as they interact with each other in these facilities, it lifts their spirits. People now begin to live longer. It's nothing unusual to find someone 95, 96 in a senior facility and have their faculties and moving about. So I think that in all of that is the opening of these facilities and the maintenance of these facilities and the staffing, because it's important that, you know, people live longer lives, but not only live longer lives, but live healthier lives.
Healthy and productive.
Yes.
I remember going to one of the senior centers and they were doing the line dance, and I was having lunch there.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the line dance, and one of these seniors tried to drag me onto the floor to dance with them.
Yeah.
The problem is, I can't line dance.
Yeah.
I could do some West Indian dance, but line dance, that's where I draw the
Well,
line.
when you get a little older and you come to the senior facility, we'll put you in the line dance class. Listen, I don't bother with it either. They can out dance me. I enjoy just seeing them
That's
out there
exactly
being
correct.
productive and having a good time.
That's right. It was just a joy to see seniors moving and booging
Absolutely.
just like they did when they were younger.
Absolutely.
It's very nice.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on a little. Children and youth, or future. And I know you have done a lot for seniors because for the youth, because I've seen your youth ambassadors and things like that. But let me talk about some of the accomplishments. Youth Leadership Academy for boys, Youth Leadership Academy for girls, Teen Dads, and Priceless University. You sponsored Nobody Listens to Me. It's a very nice name too. That's a youth summit. You sponsored the Cam Newton Day in South Fulton. He didn't win against the Falcons, but that's all right. I like it that way.
He's still from South Fulton.
He's still from South Fulton. You sponsored One Humanity Conference. You founded Parent University, and you founded Wrap Around Collaborative. Talk about some of these.
Oh, they're all important, Doc. When I look at my kids, I've had them since they was in 3rd grade, and I see how they matriculate and become, you know, older kids, and they're just a sponge for learning, and we continue to do this each and every year. We bring in another crew every other year. Teen Dads, great program. It was featured on Oprah Winfrey. Teen Dad has been something close to my heart because my youngest dad was 14, and I've had teen dads come in who are 17 years old, who've had 2 or 3 kids from 2 or 3 different girls. And the program is so good because when you come to me as a boy with a baby, halfway through my program you become a dad. Hopefully when you graduate, you will wear the crown of father. And that's what we try to get them each and every day of their lives. We wrap our arms around the family. We help the guy get a job, and we just give him all the principles that he needs to make a good father. So that has been a real heartwarming thing to me. All of my youth programs are really, really good. Years ago, before I was commissioner, I did the Wrap Around Collaborative, and that was an effort to take, because some of our children have some problems at home that they bring into the school. So we brought in clergy and county and everybody, and hence the name Wrap Around came. Let's wrap our arms around this family, give them the social things they need, and let's make them successful.
Warmth and the love.
That's where it was. So that was the Wrap Around Collaborative.
Very good. Let's move on now. Public safety. The Fulton County Truancy Reduction and Intervention Project, Circle of Honor, Public Safety Memorial, and increase the police and fire budgets by $1 million, purchasing new vehicles and trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Which of those you want to talk
I
about?
mean, you would say that the biggest achievement was the new vehicles and the police officers.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say this. The one that's most inspiring to me is the Circle of Honor. When I went out to Wolf Creek and was in one of the older buildings and I saw that corkboard with those guys' pictures on it,
Mm-hmm.
telling me when they're born and when they die.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, is this the honor that we're giving them? Tucked away in an abandoned building? So I endeavored to put a memorial out there. It's a black granite memorial. It's a beautiful location. It's great for when we have Veteran Days events, and that for people to come in, just sit down and just admire the beauty of it. And as the new recruits come in, they pass by this monument and know that you can give your life in the service of people. Keep that in mind and learn all you can.
Very good. Okay, let's move ahead a little bit and talk about parks and recreation. Remember, I went to a Catholic school, and the priests always tell us, mens sana in corpore sano, healthy mind in a healthy body. And you have done a lot for recreation and healthy bodies, participated in sports, team sports, etc. You sponsored the renovation of South Fulton basketball court with Coach Mike Woodson, former coach for the Hawks. Mm-hmm. You increased Parks Recreation budget by $750,000 for this renovation of South Fulton Tennis Center and construction of the Miracle Field. Welcome All Park, Santong Park, Burdett Tennis Center. You built the Canine Crossing South Fulton's first dog park. Talk about something.
I tell you, the dog part is always funny because, no one ever thought about having a dog park, but we had a bunch of dog lovers until I went home to Florida and saw a dog park. Mm-hmm. And I came back and endeavored to do one here, and it has been truly, truly great. One thing I found out about parks when I went in to talk about parks and recreation, I separated them. There's parks and there's recreation.
That's right. That's right.
And so when you don't commingle them, you be able to give them the focus that they need. Parks was all about programming, mm-hmm. Maintenance, field maintenance, all these kind of building maintenance, but recreation was all about the programming. Mm-hmm. And so once I be able to separate the two and talk specifically about what our needs are, then we begin to grow as a department.
Very good. One more thing I want to talk about in this section of the show, and that is the Citizen University program which you initiated. And I'll tell you, Commissioner, one of the things I look forward to every year without fail is to participate in that. Mm-hmm. It is probably one of the most inspiring things we do in the county, to have that university and see people's face light up when they understand how government works, what each individual department has to do to function right. Mm-hmm. Talk about that.
And they love coming to you too, and as part of the Citizens University, you're a staple when it comes to classes. I found out when I first came in office, people would talk about stuff they didn't know about, they had no experience about. And I said, sometimes you had those saying, you need to walk in my shoes, yes. for a mile. Well, that's what I did. So I said, listen, let's put a program out here and let's charge them, because when people pay their money, they come to the class.
That's correct.
If you make it free, they're going to miss something. So we charge them $45, I think, to register for the class, and they come. And we make it, Doc, you're one of the instructors. You know that when you come in, you give them a budget or whatever and tell them this is what we need, how you're going to get out of it. Dress as a fireman and stand up in the fire gear and see what you can do. Ride with the police officers. Actually ride. Don't let nobody hear. You're just going to actually ride with them. And all of these things have made such a difference in attitudes, because some of the most negative people have gone through Citizens University and have come out being so positive because they realize what it takes to run this government. And so it's been great. I leave that particular program in the hands of Joan Garner.
Good.
And
good.
I think that she's going to do well with it. She was at the last graduation, and I think Commissioner Garner understands she's got it, and I think it's going to be productive.
Very good. Thank you very much, Commissioner. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more with Commissioner Bill Edwards. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Let's continue our discussion with Commissioner William Bill Edwards. Commissioner, I'm going to miss you, but I know you're not far away. You contributed to South Fulton even before you became a commissioner. You were the president of the Merchants Association
Yes.
down in South Fulton. You have a business there, and so you have been a part of the community, but now we're moving forward. And there are several organizations for some time working on trying to make South Fulton a city, the last part of an incorporated part of Fulton County. And there are several organizations involved, but I've seen you in these organizations working with the people, bringing information. What does the future hold from your perspective?
Well, I tell you, several years ago when I was president of Old National Merchants Association, during the time when everybody was leaving and prostitution was on the rampage
That's
on Old
right.
National, someone asked me that question before, and I would tell you today, look at Old National now. It's not what it can be, but it's sure a whole lot better than it was. So I'm immersed in the fabric of the community. So being a commissioner and not being a commissioner makes no difference to me, because I will continue to work as I've always worked to make South Fulton a better place to be. And Doc, you have helped me tremendously. Let me just say that since I've been here, you have been the catalyst for a lot of things. I've called you and asked you to do things for me. Sometimes you did them. Most times you did them, but sometimes you didn't. And that's okay, but you always told me why you can't do something.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So thank you for all that you've done. This community now, sometimes I think it's under siege. Annexations coming from everywhere. Naysayers who saying it can't be done. Given this community given requirements for doing something, they meet their requirements and they still haven't done enough. I think, like old John Wayne movies, it's time to circle the wagons. And circling the wagons means that it's now time for South Fulton to be self-governed by themselves, to create their own destiny. And like I said to you before, sometimes you must create conditions. And I think if they circle their wagons and move forward, that they will create those conditions that will make South Fulton the place it needs to be. It is a beautiful place. It's a flourishing place. In my 14 years as commissioner, we have never had a negative fund balance in South Fulton County, and I don't anticipate one coming, even when they're a city. So the important thing for me right now is get information out. Let people know the truth. I always say you can always have your own opinions, but you can never have your own facts.
That's right. And one thing I'll say about you, during the Depression, when where the values were falling on properties, where taxes were going on the bottom, you had the guts to at least raise the military to keep your services in your community. Correct. By giving people information to let them understand how it operates, what we need to do, and they all, without fail, supported you.
Yes.
In that regard, information is the key to making good decisions, and you have done that all the way through.
But I wouldn't have done that without you. I mean, you had to guide me through that. You know, what does that look like? You know, understand that the property values are down, but you got to maintain this level of service. Guys like you and the county manager, his department, we sat around and we went out to people. We had 4 big meetings, and you came with me. And we had 4 big meetings to talk about, here's where we are, here's where we need to be. Help me to get there. And the citizens of South Fulton, they did it, and they did it without fear.
Well, I'll continue to help South Fulton and the organizations that involved with this community in trying to make it a city.
Yes.
But one thing I'd say is that you are leaving South Fulton in very good shape as a commissioner. You're going to have a good fund balance. You have a military set that would allow you to continue as a city without doing anything. And we got to remember that when the other cities became, when the other parts of the unincorporated became cities, they continued that millage rate and they did all right. You have a much better situation with your millage rate, and so I think that if it becomes a city, it'll do all right. They still have the questions about leadership, etc. But there are enough people in South Fulton with skills to make sure that the city is successful.
Well, I tell you, a lot of the elected officials have joined hands with the people in South Fulton to get the facts out. I'm very proud of my colleagues on the Board of Commissioners because most of their position is let the people vote. If that's what they want to do, they'll go to the ballot and they'll decide whether they want to be a city or not.
That's correct.
So I admire all of my colleagues for taking that position. So we're going to continue to get the information out, and at the end of the day, if we can keep the politics out at the legislature, at the end of the day, the citizens of South Fulton will make that choice.
Very good. Well, thank you very, very much, Commissioner. Again, thank you for your years of service and the service to come in the future.
Yes.
I know you're not leaving South Fulton. It's something near and dear to your heart. And so I'll continue to work with the community in the future to make sure continued success for that area.
Well,
I love South Fulton.
Thank you for not only being a colleague in this game called elected officials, but being a friend. And you've been a friend to me ever since I've been in this business, and I appreciate your leadership, your mentorship, and most of all, your friendship.
Thank you very much. That was very nice. Thank you. And thank you for watching our show today. Of course, we like hearing from you about today's topic or any other tax-related issue. Contact our office at 404-613-6100 or email us at taxmatters@fultoncountyga.gov. That's all the time we have today. We'll see you next time on Tax Matters.
I'm Dr. Arthur Ferdinand, and I wish you and your family. They'll cue you in.
So tell me what you want me to say again.
Just wishing them a happy holiday season.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing you in 2015 or something like that.
Okay,
Just
okay.
Just a holiday greeting.
Okay.
Hold on. Cue 'em in. Cue 'em in, please.
You ready, Kendrick? You ready, Kendrick? All right, stand by. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, I'm Tax Commissioner Arthur Ferdinand. Here is wishing you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
We'll do it one more time.
This time, Dr. Ferdinand, say happy holidays. Just
Oh.
to incorporate all religions and
Okay, okay.
Right, stand by. And
So could I say Happy Holidays and a Merry and Happy New Year?
yes.
Okay. Go to watch that.
and looking into the camera. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, I'm Tax Commissioner Arthur Ferdinand. Here's wishing you and your family happy holidays and a Happy New Year. Thank you for what you have done for the county.
Very nice.
All right, Commissioner Edwards.
The happy holidays just incorporates everybody.
I know.
I'm saying it all to the Methodists.
All right,
You ready?
stand by, Commissioner. All right.
You can.
All right, and
Sit up.
yeah. Okay, and 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello, I'm Commissioner William Bill Edwards. One of my last official acts is to say to you, Happy Holidays and Merry New Year, right?
Happy New Year.
Okay, let's do that
Merry
again.
Christmas.
See, that holiday thing threw me out.
Yeah, George out.
Yeah.
I'm a Christmas guy. All for Christ, right?
Take 2.
Happy Holidays and Happy New Year. Okay.
Counting you in. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, this is Commissioner William Bill Edwards. One of my last official acts is to wish you all a happy holidays and a happy new year coming forward. God bless you all.
All right, clear.
All right.